At Basic Needs, we assist students who are facing financial challenges, food security challenges, and housing insecurities. In this segment, we'll be uplifting the stories and narratives of alumni, current students that have utilized our basic need resources. These are just some of the stories of students who have used our resources here at Basic Needs. The alumni and current students that are featured in this segment are fellow students that are in class with you, are part of your organizations and clubs, and are part of this Triton community. These are their stories.
It has provided me something that I don't think any other form of support could, which is just peace. Actually now getting a little bit emotional and choked up during the interaction, and I think that's just kind of a natural feeling of what I was feeling, but I also felt allowed that space by the pro staff member in a very non-judgmental way, and actually in a very calming and reaffirming way. What came to mind afterwards was the fact that I did have the knowledge, or at least some knowledge, on how to advocate for myself in that meeting. And I think what's also really important in navigating basic needs resources is students' ability to advocate for themselves, because I think the meeting could have gone a lot different if I describe my circumstances in a different light, or decided not to, give a little bit of detail or, context. So I thought that was really helpful.
Having access to emergency housing has helped me a lot, just because, last quarter when I was going through a stressful time trying to find housing, and especially being so far away from home, it really made me stressed that I didn't have a roof over my head, and I knew running back home wasn't an option for me just because I don't live anywhere close to San Diego. So just being supported away from home really made me have that clear sense of mind that I needed for finals week, and just made me feel supported, just because I knew asking my family wasn't an option. Coming from low-income communities, it's hard to sometimes rely on your parents, so having resources like this on campus really allows students to feel not embarrassed to ask for help, but supported along the way, and just knowing that it's a safe space to speak about whatever struggles you're dealing with, whether it be housing or food insecurity. Resources offered at the hub are really good for students who are having a difficult time on their own, finding ways to support themselves.
Yeah, so the off-campus housing website was a really cool resource that I used. I found my current apartment through that website. Coming from a low-income background, as well as just being a first-generation student, I wasn't really taught to navigate housing searches, specifically in San Diego. So the website was really easy to use, especially being a first-gen student, again, not knowing how to really navigate housing, and it just made the whole process really comfortable when the whole process itself could be really intimidating.
Yeah, having access to resources such as CalFresh or the Triton Food Pantry, as well as the Food Recovery Network, has really helped me as a student. Just because being CalFresh lead, I also benefit from these services. I know as a student it's hard sometimes to find time to find healthy options for cooking, so I know the Triton Food Pantry has helped me with that. They have a lot of vegetable options that you can choose from, which I know I've benefited a lot from, as well as being able to use CalFresh. I know myself, it was hard to get approved for a period of time, so it just made me feel like I was also supported when I wasn't able to sustain myself, especially financially. Everything is so expensive around La Jolla, as you guys have seen. Grocery markets are so expensive. It's hard to focus on meals to cook for yourself while you're also handling jobs and assignments and finals week and all that stuff going on. So it's a good resource to help focus on your nutrition and well-being. So yeah, I know that made me feel supported, and I didn't feel embarrassed to ask for help, because it's just such a welcoming environment at the hub, and all these resource centers are really nice at making you feel important or heard and seen.
The food pantry is amazing. I love my girls. It's definitely easy to access, portable, and just great tasting food. I usually eat my meals at the pantry or at the hub in general, because a lot of places on campus and off campus are really expensive, so that helps utilize the overall expense of living in San Diego. And it just helps me as a human, because I need food to survive, I need food to eat. And I realized when I'm upset or irritated, I'm just really hangry. So once I eat, I feel way better and I can continue with my day.
I was like struggling with feeling guilty about it because sometimes I forgot to fill out the star 7, and that's another thing that you learn when you're in, like in contact with CalFresh is you remember that, or they tell you, hey, you have to fill out star 7 every 6 months. And so it also has helped me in my work that I do now. I help people who have just got out of prison or are trying to retransition apply for CalFresh, and that knowledge and also like kind of the calmness and familiarity with navigating those resources, especially for people who may have disabilities, people who may have some difficulties navigating them. It really does help to have that. So
Oftentimes, there is a misconception that others might need it more than you do. However, need looks differently for every individual on this campus. It is your basic right to have access to these services. To have access to these services, it's our collective responsibility. As a UCSD student, it is your basic right to access these services. We hope you feel empowered to utilize basic need resources at UCSD and beyond.